like picking at flowers. It's the end of the season, and I'm pretty much done pressing. And some of these are new I haven't shown you before, and so hopefully you'll stay tuned for that. And forgive me if I've shown you some other ones. I've got quite a stack to go through here, so I'm just gonna pick out some highlights, and we'll go from there. And if you want to see what excuse me, if you want to see what flowers look like once they're pressed, then please stay tuned. Let's get started. And one quick tip: if you want to watch this in a quicker amount of time and still understand what I'm saying, go down to the cog and then click the playback speed to 1.5. And that way you'll still get all the content. For those of you that like a quicker thoroughfare, then that's a little tip. So having said that, let's get started. This first sheet is just coming out of the press now, so it's not in my books, but I wanted to include it. And this is the fall or late summer blooming anemone. And we've got white and pink, but the deer ate the white. So I just have pink, but let me show you. This is the back side, and this is the front side. See how beautiful they are? They're fairly good color keepers. And most of the things that I'm showing you today, I don't have out in the yard because everything is pretty much gone, but I do still have some anemones left, so I can show you what they look like when they're in the garden. So, because they're still blooming now a little bit, they're pretty much gone. So that's the fall blooming anemone. Then this is how I store things. When you watch other videos where I say that I store them in books, that's a frequently asked question, is how do you store them? I store them in absorbent books, and you'll see these all the time. This sheet is bidden lobelia. This is that red hot poker or salvia that you can find at the garden center a lot. And those are they hold their color really well. This is a blossom off of a Coreopsis plant. Sometimes I do the whole thing on Coreopsis if the center are fairly pliable, but I decided just to do some centers for some petal work. And then the bidden, which is right here, there's still a couple of those left. That's what they look like. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Oh, here's some bush Potentia. There's the ground kind and then the kind that are in the bush. And these are the yellow bush Potentia. They color enhance really well. If you hear me talking about color enhancing, it's because I have a color enhancement playlist, and I'm going to be doing more about that now that the summer has passed and there's going to be more inside time. So hopefully we can do some projects with some of these flowers and some more color enhancement. This is Alstroemeria Peruvian lily, and I really like the centers on those. And I have several different kinds, so we might see some other shadings as we go through the book. So that's what's primarily in here. And then this is, let me bring this closer so we can get a better look. This is got what's called Twinkle Phlox right here. And these are really cool. I had grown them years and years and years ago, and I had the hardest time finding the seeds when I wanted to start them up again. So I saved the seeds now. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. It looks like the camera's blurring out. Let me close this up and bring it closer to the camera. They're quite sheer. They hold their color pretty well. The colored part does. And they've got those spikes, which, oops, let me fix the camera here. They've got those, I'm doing this live, I won't be editing, so full pause and all is the name of the day. These are Twinkle Phlox, as I said, and they're just, I just think they're really cool. Let me show you the seed packet since I don't have any out there. Oh, yes, I do. I do have different kind, but I did find a couple left. Here's one that hasn't been pressed, and it's that's, you can see that pinkish color. And then here's another one. This is that tonality. See how beautiful those are? So that's what they look like before they're pressed. And let me get the seed packet so you can see what we're talking about. Before I do that, this is Zinnia Petals. Zinnia Petals hold their color really well, but the centers are way too thick to press. So I just get the petals, and there's different colors, pinks and oranges, and just vary in different shades. Here's a blue twinkle. They come in various different colors, and the pack is mixed assortment, and that's this guy. Phlox, Twinkle Dwarf Mix. Beautiful, beautiful. And then, let's see, I just showed you that one. Here's, I just showed you the yellow Potentia a minute ago, which I said is a bush Potentia. This is a ground Potentia, this one here. And those are really pretty too. And then this is some petals off of some wild, I threw some scattered wildflower seeds that I bought in a pack from the store. And these were the petals off of them. The whole seed head or the whole flower head didn't look conducive to pressing, but I pressed those, and I'm going to be able to get seeds so I can scatter some out next year, because I thought that they kind of remind me of a heart. Maybe look really cute in something. And then of course a lot of your violas, which are also very nice. So that's what's, oh, here, see, here's the bush Potentia that I was talking about, and then the other ground Potentia. This one holds their color. Well, violas hold their color, and then of course lupin. I probably showed you that in other videos. This is the pink lupin. And then I've got a blue lupin. And then Clarkia, it says Clarkia on here. This is the petals off of a dianthus, and I really like how they have that kind of sawtooth edge on them, so they're kind of fun to use. And then in the world of butterfly flowers, did I bring a seed packet out? Yes, I did. Here's the seed packet for the butterfly flowers. Reenie's Garden seems to have a lot of seeds that I don't often find somewhere else. So that's the butterfly flower. And I've got two kinds. I think this one is called Cinderella. I actually bought this plant as a plant. Let me bring them up because they're just really cool, and I'd like to show you a closer look. And this one, I started to say, I bought this one from a plant, and then I got this one, I did these from seed. And these have both come back now for a couple of years. And I also have a yellow one, and this is the orange one. I think that takes care of what was in, no, it doesn't. Okay. Excuse me for here, I'll just stick that there. All right, what else do we have? Then we did that. Okay, this is Clarkia. Okay, so Clarkia, I started from seed. Let me get the seed packet. excuse my arm. Let's see, Clarkia, here. Oh, no, I didn't bring it. Yes, I did. Sorry for the delay. Here's the Clarkia. Mixed colors. They start really easy from seed. You just scatter them in the garden. These are good scatter flowers. They look really good from a distance. They remind me of like a English garden. Everything that an English garden I think should be, these remind me of. They get fairly tall, so they're good for kind of the mid border. And I had purchased some Clarkia way back, like 20 years ago. They don't sell them anymore. They're not around anymore where I had originally got them from, and I liked them. They were kind of quirky, but I've never been able to find them again pressed, so I thought, well, I guess I'm going to have to grow my own seed. And they're just, again, let me get something to hold them against because it seems to be blurring out otherwise. They're just very strange, but I like them. And when you never know quite what shape you're going to get. It's not like sunflowers where you know you're pretty much what the shape's going to be. But these guys, you know, they're kind of, you know, here's one that's all fanned out. Here's one that's very airy. And you can see the various different colors. This is, I'm sure I've showed you this before, this is a Culinary oregano flower, and they're pretty much spent, but I did bring in what was left just to show you as an example. They hold their color really well. And again, you've heard me say in other picking with flower videos that pretty much I try to do flowers that hold their color well or that are easy to color enhance. And which is another question that gets asked all the time. Well, how long do flower colors last? Well, you know, it depends. Don't keep them in the sunlight, and they last long enough to make it all worthwhile as far as I'm concerned. And if I'm doing other than that, I'll color enhance them sometimes. Let's see if there's anything quick in here. Sally, and this is a purple heather. A bunch of different kind of heathers that we have. And this is just on the stem, and then I press them loose for small little work. And most of these I've shown you before in other videos. This is Queen Anne's lace, regular red verbena. This was from another that you can buy in the garden center. It's blue salvia. And I was trying to press the whole spikes, but I forgot, or they weren't blooming, or I don't know what happened. So I ended up just pressing some of the little flowers that are on it. There's a couple more anemones. I've shown you this in another video. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a little yellow flower. I really like it. Here's where's one on it. It's on its stem. It's more the same purple heather. Let's see if there's something I haven't shown you here that I want to highlight. More Zinnia Petals. And here's some, actually I started a listen from seed this year, although this was one that I got from my husband's yard. He bought this one from the garden center. The ones that I planted from seed, these guys were, because I scattered them outside and I didn't thin them, they made a clump, but the flowers themselves weren't actually very big, but they looked pretty good. Let's see, Snapdragon. I started to show you. Here's a yellow Snapdragon. Oh, I like this one a lot. Oh, that's really cool. Pinkish color. Okay, hydro. You've all seen hydrangeas before. That's the back. That's the front. And if you keep them in books and you're peeking like this, you want to, normally, because you don't want these petals to fold back over, I will hold them up a little bit like that when I lower them down, and that seems to help them stay flat rather than to mangle all the petals up. Alstroemeria, what is this? Oh, some more Alstroemerias. Okay. This is tick seed. This is from I gather these seeds every year, but I got them in the very beginning from a seed packet where I scattered them in the yard. And now I just save the seed every year. And you see how I labeled the pack. This is Larkspur. I did bring a Larkspur. They're various different colors. This is a pink one, and these are almost gone, and I'm saving the seeds from all the different colors this year. They hold their color really well. So here's a couple of different pink Larkspur are late blooming. Blue Larkspur seems to come on first, and then the variegated, what I call variegated, and then the lavenders, and then the pinks are very late blooming. I mean, I don't have any other colors out there right now, but I still have a couple pinks, which is weird. Let's see, pink, blue. Here's some blue. I call that variegated. Let me see if I can find a page with variegated. Here's some white. Another frequently asked question is how to tint white flowers, and I will be doing hopefully a video on that this winter. So if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned for that. I just have to get them pulled out. Let's see, blue and lavender. I wanted to show you what I call the variegated, but I don't see one in here. Orange cosmos. And I've got orange and yellow. I start these from seed too. And did I bring a seed pack out? No. This is just, you can buy the Cosmos seeds at the store, and they have the picture on the seed packet. But these are the orange and yellow variety. And good seed starters hold their color well. Celosia is another one. My husband grows it in his yard every year. And I really like them. And they press well. They dry well. Hold their color pretty good. Here's another Celosia. Mexican sage, I think I showed you that one at the end of last year. These hold their color for a really long time, and they have a furry feel. And then, let's see, showed you that. Puff heather. Puff heather, this is just various different heathers. I really like this one. It's just kind of cool. The main parent plant, it's going to be gone, but fortunately we did an offspring, so I'll be able to get them again. There's another kind that I press, which is this one, which again, they hold their color really well. Let's see, what do we have here? 19 minutes. I know some people go, oh, your videos are so long. Here's some more. Let me bring this closer. Here's some more twinkle heather. See? Now those are really have the spikes on them. And I call this the pinwheel verbena. I don't know what the technical name is. And then this is filipendula. My husband has some on his side. These are really cool. I like them a lot. And these are perennial, come back every year for him. For as wispy as these flowers are, they don't look like they'd hold together at all, but they do. So those are really cool. I love filipendula. Coreopsis, there's some different Coreopsises here. Yeah, these are all Coreopsis, but different variants. And this kind my husband did at the garden center. Yeah, these are perennial. But this and this, they're not reliable perennials in my area. Maybe they are for other people. Larkspur. Here's a lavenderish one. And anything else here? Oregano, blanket flower. Here's some astilbe. Astilbe I like to color enhance because I like the center to be a little bit more pinkish on them, but they hold their color well. Here's a blanket flower. They hold their color really well, and that's where I showed you just the petals earlier in this video, where I just did the petals, and here's the whole thing. Fuchsia, this one. I think I've shown you the fuchsia before. This is what I call the single blossom. It's Tom Thumb, I think, was its original name. It comes back every year. And the leaves also press really well, hold their color. Gay feather, lavender. Gay feather is pretty thick, but I still press them. I press the individual petals on there. And then here's some lavender back there. Gaterium, I started those from seed and didn't bring the packet out. But they kind of remind me of the gay feather that we just talked about a minute ago. These hold their color well. They also dry well if you hang them upside down. Clary, I wanted to show you Clary because that was new this year. Again, it's another thing that I grew about 15, 20 years ago and wanted to try it again. And the only way I could get them was from seed. And that's this guy, Clary Sage. And I've got them in blue and pink. And there are a couple left out in the yard. Here's what they look like when they're growing in the garden. They're kind of sticky. They got a lot of resin on them. The the bees and the butterflies like them. So that's how that is. I'm not focusing. Let me close this up and bring this up to the camera so you can hopefully see better. These hold their color for a really long time. Okay. Anything else? This is starting to get pretty long now that I hadn't shown you. Oh, let me show you the seed packet for the Clary Sage because, again, it's another one like the Clarkia that you just broadcast it out in the yard, and they're very prolific. So that's Clary Sage. And I got the blue and the pink. I'm going to look through here really quickly. More Clarkia. Here's some other colors of Clarkia for you to look at. This was interesting in that on the bush out in the yard it looked white, but when I pressed it, it went pink, kind of a pinkish color. And then this was these were the darkest ones the darkest bush that was out there. This deeper red. So I thought that was pretty good. Strontia. Oh, okay. That was got white and pink Strontia. And these were the pink flowers first, and then the white come on. Thyme, I like thyme. They're kind of make a nice garden look when you're doing your flower arrangements. This is a yeah, I think that was from the variegated. Anyway, I've got a variegated thyme and a green one, solid green, and they both press about the same. Here's some more thyme and some lavender. Okay, I think that's about it for today. I just primarily wanted to show you the new plants, which were the Clarkia and the um, the Clary Sage and the Twinkles that I hadn't shown you before. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to be doing more videos now with the winter coming on, and I appreciate everybody who watches. Have a wonderful day.